Hello, I'm back for the second part of this Lee Anthony Davis show. Uh, Recording live from my YouTube channel on on Friday, the 23rd of October. Yes, there's only another 8 days to go before the witching hour and the big one, Halloween. That's the 31st. That's a week tomorrow, so that's 8 days away. Anyway, uh, what's coming up? Before I mention that, remember I've got I gave you three possible answers, and I'll give you two quiz questions thrown in. As there was no birthdays, I gave shout outs to my new members that joined. So anyway, so we're back again, and for the first announcement I'm going to make is that I'll be live as a panelist on Dave Travels Through Time on his YouTube channel at 6:15, where we'll be discussing the Doctor Who special, the seventh Doctor Who stream. That's Sylvester McCoy to you. And I'll be on there as a panelist, as the guest of Dave Rosenthal, who is obviously Dave Travels Through His Time. And he will be joined, hopefully, by another guest called Thomas Sadako, who will be joining us later. Or he might be there before I am, because it's usually me that's late. So you can't keep a good man down, as they say. So anyway, that's coming up in about another 55 minutes. So keep an eye out. I'll be posting on Twitter, posting on Facebook. So I'll be letting people know it's a live stream is about to go out. So join us for the Doctor Who special at 6:15 for the seventh Doctor Who appreciation stream featuring Sylvester McCoy and me, of course. Anyway, on with the next one, next announcement. Don't forget, I'm launching a new group on Monday called the Entertainment Group, which you know by now, which I've been giving plenty of shout outs about, is that it's about music, cinema, TV, reviews, previews, giving, posting other people's great stuff onto there as well. It's on YouTube, putting YouTubers on there, so I'm doing a lot of promoting for them. So making sure that, this will be the main channel for the best of the entertainment business. So it'll all be on here, but like everything else, you have to walk first before you run, or you end up falling flat on your face. Anyway, so that's been launched on Monday, and I've got a new group in November to be launched called the Sarah Jane Adventures Group. And as you know, if you've been following me on these groups, I have been telling you about what I've been doing with the Sarah Jane Adventures 4 episodes, which has been exclusive at that moment on the science fiction group on Facebook, but not anymore. There's only one more episode I'm going to load up on there, the second part of Warriors of Kudlak, and then that is it. It goes on. The rest of them will go on the. In fact, I'll start with the beginning and put them on there anyway. Very first episode. So, but they're all going on my new group, which will be launched in November, the Sarah Jane Adventures Group. So, something to look forward to. Also, I've got another group coming out in December called the Cult Television Group. This is where all your best cult stuff goes, like The Prisoner, Danger Man, Starship, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, Knight Rider. Not forgetting that. What else is there? There's loads of stuff. Blake Seven, even though I've got a group out called Blake Seven. Uh, Awesome stuff on that, but it'll be sort of a various and a sort of well balanced, so there won't be too much of one thing and less of the other. It'll all be nice and balanced. Uh, uh, that will be launched in December. Uh, as for this show, what I'm doing, pathetically attempting to do a show, uh, I will be doing some more stuff on there. Announcements. Obviously, the longer I'm on here, the better it is because it means that I can project more stuff to you, tell you what's going on. But I'm not doing all that at the moment. I'm just keeping it simple and short, and just giving you a couple of quiz questions, to throw in an announcement of birthdays that are happening. And a few announcements what's going on in my area. I've also said that I was going to be doing a podcast, a day in the life of, like, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, of me, showing you what my interests and my hobbies are, and you know, basically ramming it in your face. Anyway, so that is it for Friday. But before we go, yes, I will promise to fulfill what I started to set out. I will set my stall out the way I presented it, and I'm going to give you that question again. Well, two questions actually. The first question, if you remember, uh, what year did the horror of Dracula what year was the horror of Dracula released? Right? Was it A 1958? Was it B 1959? Or was it C 1960? The answer was B. Sorry, A 1958. Because the year before, of course, you know, it was the Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. You know, that iconic moment where Christopher Lee pulls the mask away. You know, the bandages and reveals this grotesque looking creature, but it's actually Christopher Lee. Uh, it could have been me actually. As a better looking guy than I am, that's for sure. Anyway, also the second part of this question. So remember that was so it's 1958 for the horror Dracula. The second part I asked because I thought I'd add it in because there wasn't much to go on with no birthdays to shout out. Was what followed? What was the Hammer horror film that followed the horror of Dracula? And I gave three possible answers, but I'm going to throw in a fourth one. So even though you'll think to yourself, wait a minute, none of these followed the horror of Dracula. That's correct. It was a trick. It was a trick. It was to trip you up, so to see how well your knowledge is. So anyway, I'm going to give you the fourth one. The it's one of these possible four answers, right? I threw it in deliberately. I don't know. I'm just a wind-up merchant. Uh, was it A? This is whatever. Which film followed the horror of Dracula, the next Hammer horror film they made? Was it A? The Curse of Frankenstein? Was it B? The Revenge of Frankenstein? That's a new one I've thrown in. Was it C? The Brides of Dracula? Or was it D? The Mummy? Well, the answer is B because it was The Revenge of Frankenstein in 1958, which was funny enough came in the same year, so it was not far off the making of another film. As soon as they finish that one, because they move on to the next and the next and the next, they're churning them out like Stock Aitken and Waterman with record music and stuff like that out of the Bleeding Factory. You notice they look the same, but the Hammer horror films try to differ a little bit so it don't look familiar to Universal. But anyway, we're not going to get into that. So the answer was B, The Revenge of Frankenstein. That came after the horror Dracula, and before that, obviously, you know, there was The Curse of Frankenstein. So anyway, that's it. I think my time is up for today. I think I've spent long enough on here. Don't forget, join me at 6:15 with Dave Travels Through Time on his YouTube channel at 6:15, as I said, where we'll be talking about the Sylvester McCoy era. It's going to be known as the Doctor Who Appreciation Stream, the seventh Doctor Who Appreciation Stream. Sorry, I got it right that time. And also, there's something else I wanted to tell you. Uh, yeah, the Sarah Jane Adventures, as you know, as I mentioned, will be now on the instead of being loaded up onto the sci-fi group, it will be loaded up onto my new group, the Sarah Jane Adventures group. Anyway, I think I've whittled on enough. I want to save a little bit for tonight, so I'm going to be totally knackered. As I said, I have been loading up all my material all day, not just on those groups I mentioned, but on other groups I haven't mentioned, like the official Doctor Who group. I thought I'd mention it. My horror group now has reached 420 members. Fantastic, isn't it? My official Doctor Who group has reached um, 342. So, and then my science fiction group has reached 362. So the horror group is way out in front at the moment with 424. Sorry, I might got that figure wrong before, but that's the correct figure I've given you there. Other groups. Now I'm on the verge of another significant milestone with one of my groups. I launched it about 3 weeks ago with the Hammer Horror Group, and with the run up to Halloween, you know, you get a flux of members, don't you, to do with that theme. And I have had a flux of members, and I'm one short of the big one, 100. I'm on 99 members, so fingers crossed for that. Might as well say thank you to all the Twitter followers that have been following me. I do appreciate that you've enjoyed my crap, you could say. Uh, I try to help if I can with these people and give them, you know, give them give them some coverage and promotions, and that's what I'll do in the future. I will give them a lot of shout outs as well because they do a lot of good stuff as well that they don't get any sort of credit for, and I want to see that they do. So it'll be shouted out here. So, oh yeah, I was on Twitch yesterday morning. Well, earlier today, doing a recording. I mentioned the fact that I went on one channel, right, and it was these three guys, three Americans, obviously. Nothing against these Americans, but these guys you would have something against. They were effing and blinding. They were complete bloody loons. And I looked at it and I thought, what that is this? You got one guy acting like a gangster. It looked like he was no older than bloody 15. And another one had no control. The other guy buggered off. And I thought, what the hell is going on here? So I just got out of there. I just thought, I've seen too much of this on Twitter and Facebook and bloody YouTube channels when you get a lot of a lot of problems. But this was a real fuck up. Anyway, I won't tell you that. Tell you the channel. You know, it's unfair to say it, but it was funny. I must admit, I was rolling in it. But anyway, I couldn't believe my eyes actually, or my ears. But anyway, I suppose they're a good load of lads. But never mind. Anyway, join me as soon as I calm down. Uh, Join me at 6:15 for Dave's Travels Through Time, and I'll see you then. So I'll be back at the same time. Well, not at back at the usual time of 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock tomorrow for the Lee Anthony Davis show, where I'll begin with some more. We've got another quiz question, a few birthday announcements that I do know people will be celebrating their birthdays tomorrow. So I know that, and I've also some future events coming up. I'll mention them as well, and I'll give a few shout outs to some Twitter people that I like, and should I dare I say it, people I don't like. Why would I want to do that? Anyway, no, they're all right. I like them. They're all right. So anyway, thanks for joining me. I appreciate that. See you at 6:15 on Dave's Travels Through Time. Until then. I'll see you tomorrow if you don't pop in for that. Until then, bye for now.